Hi, good evening, everybody. Video on the channel if you're new here, that we just throw out random talk about the boys, and it could be anything and everything. And I'll start with last game, guys. I know I wasn't here to report on the last game. I'm still fighting a grip. Feel a hell of a lot better today. And I missed about half the game yesterday before I finally got to see what was going on in this game. And it looked pretty easy, guys. It looked pretty easy, right? But I want to say something before we start getting our hopes up about everything, or even throw in the towel or whatever it is. You know, Detroit, I know right now, look, they're right there in the division for first place. But as we know this year, there's no runaway squad yet. I mean, Boston's in first right now as I'm speaking, Boston. And Boston, credit to them, have turned it around this year. Right now, but a turnaround of 12-9. Okay, so it's like, you know, you look at their goals for and against, guys, 69-69. So it's like, you know, there's a lot of question marks this year with this division right now. I still fully expect Florida to be the team when it's all said and done. But Detroit right now is 11-7-1, and we came back on them in Detroit, who were 6-2-1 at home. That made it, I believe that was the game. I believe they won their last game on the road, if I'm correct. I could be wrong. But anyway, Detroit's right now 6-3-1 at home, and that's where we did it. We did it on their home ice. But we were due for a road victory at this point. And the Sabres right now, guys, on the road are 1-5-2, okay? If we win tomorrow against Calgary, and I expect them to do it, I expect them to win this game, they'll be 7-3-2 at home. If the Sabres find a way to lose this game at home, this is just like last year, what's going on, you know? Like games that we're expected to win, we should win. There just should be no doubt against some teams. Calgary's one of those teams. To be honest, I thought they'd beat Edmonton, you know? I didn't do the pregame, like I said, I was in bed. Or was I? I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it was. So when we, you know, if we can start to win the games we expect to win, that's a start, is what I'm saying, for the season, to be some kind of season. Because right now, guys, we're still a game under 500. We're a quarter way through the season almost. And the Sabres at least are not completely out of it. I mean, this is kind of what we're used to by end of December. We're used to being right out of it, right? I mean, lately, anyway, last season or two. But right now, we got to hang around. And I really felt that comeback in Detroit. I believe, guys, that saved Adam's job. I think he was getting fired if we lost that game. I'm pretty sure of it. You get that feeling about, you know, like, this guy's worn out his welcome. He's already worn out his welcome. But when it comes to Pegula actually doing it, I think that was the night. I really do. And I think it's meant to be. He's still here. It's just meant to be. And now that we've won last game very convincingly and looking good. And I do want to say something about that Detroit win, okay? Because I didn't get to talk about this. I've been not well, guys, the last little while. That Detroit win, the way the bench looked when we won, like it just how we looked. Well, when McLeod scored, the reaction, you know, was nice to see that. It just was nice to see that. I wasn't sure if they cared anymore, really, going into that game. I wasn't sure if they did. You know, like that was such a bad road trip. Really, we lost all 4 games, but we squeaked one out at the end. That's what happened. We lost all 4 in regulation, but we squeaked one out. And I'll take it. Like, we'll take it desperately. And if I'm looking at what's happening now at home with the Sabres, let's talk about the home record just for a sec, guys, before I get into a little bit more stuff here. Sabres right now 6-3-2 at home. We should be 7-3-2, right? Going into that game. And I still, you know, that St. Louis loss is still frustrating me, you know, but because what a different season it would be right now, guys, if we would have won that one game. But that's the Sabres and their luck. So let's say we win this game outright. We just win it outright in regulation. The Sabres would be 7-3-2. And after 20 games, we'd be 8-4. And depending on what the goals for and against right now, guys, is a -9. But I mean, my God, I think we have to lead the league in giving up empty net goals. You know, we have to lead the league in empty net goals. Have we? I'd like to know. Like all the empty net goals, have we once this year come back? I don't think so, right? Or was it? I could be wrong, but have we once come back this year when pulling the goalie? I don't think we have. But we've given up so many empty net goals, guys, I've lost track. I'm going to check that out eventually. I feel like we're on a record pace this year to give up the most in NHL history in a season. That's how it feels. And look, you look at Toronto right now, guys, who were 8-9-2 going in. They're tied with us. Really should be 7-10-2 because of that loss, right? But I'm a big believer, guys, that what you do game to game kind of changes the chemistry of what happens game to game. Just because they should have lost that game doesn't mean they would be sitting at 7-10 right now. Things could be different, right? So now, going into this, let's face it, this Calgary game is really huge. If we want to stick around, really stick around, because it felt like we just gave up not too long ago again. I mean, this thing about not, finally getting a regulation win was huge, guys. That's why we're feeling good. If you notice, you're feeling good about the team. Regulation wins, okay? Not these fake overtime wins. Regulation wins. A convincing win against Edmonton. Convincing. If we were to play Edmonton in a series, we'd beat them right now. That's how Edmonton's playing. Edmonton's a disaster right now. One thing I want to check on that before I forget. Okay. I just wanted to check the numbers on something here in that game. You know what I'm going to check? Because it wasn't good. Yeah, we had 13 hits, they had 20. Edmonton's the worst hitting team in hockey, just so you know, this year and last year. But Edmonton turned it up a notch in the playoffs. They are one of those teams that seem to be able to do that. They seem to be able to really turn it up a notch till they run into a real physical team like Florida. Colorado's another team out west that look capable of doing that. Come playoff time, they can turn it up a notch because Colorado, too, is not very good again this year with their physical play. But I don't want to make it sound like we weren't physical in this game because that it's a bit misleading in that, It's not always just hits, it's the physical side of the game. There's, how you're working in the corners and behind the nets and all that stuff. And the Sabres are pretty good in this game with this. So I'll talk about, I guess, the Calgary game at some point tomorrow before. But right now, we have, let's face it, I honestly believe Kevin Adams just saved his job the last two games. Like Lindy and Kevin Adams, I really believe we're this close. I do believe. I know a lot of you don't think so. I believe Adams was going to get fired if we lost that game in Detroit. I think that would have been it, really. As much as everybody doesn't think Pegula will fire him, I 100% don't believe that. I've watched hockey way too long. As good and as bad as things look eventually with general managers, they always get fired, everywhere. Every team. There's no such thing as a GM that doesn't get fired. They always get fired eventually. And right now, Adams is on life support. So they have to win this game. I can't make it any more clear. Okay, they have to win this game, and they have to win it in regulation, guys. This is a team that should not be getting an overtime point against us. The Sabres have to win this outright, just like we beat the Oilers. The same way. I thought the Sabres in that game, what I seen of it, I seen half of it. A little more than half, actually. About half, maybe. Yeah, a little more. So, but anyway, to me, what I seen in that game, the way it looked, they were winning. I knew they were winning that game. And I don't feel like that very often with the Sabres since we blew that game to Toronto. This is the first game I felt like they're winning this no matter what. That's the first time I felt that way since, 10 games? Or how many games it was. Would be since the Toronto game when we blew that game. So, if we can continue to feel like that for a few weeks, yeah, we could be having a season after all, And I think for the Adams haters, I'll tell you what, guys, you were close. You were close to getting your wish. Believe me, that close. But it doesn't mean like another slump. We're not another slump. What I hate is like, I hate when, if we hit another slump, when are we going to do it? Like between the 50 and 65 game mark and then make changes when it's too late to get in the playoffs or have a chance? I still think Adams should have been fired even though they beat Detroit. That's how I felt after that road trip. They got lucky to squeak one out. It was a good comeback, don't get me wrong. But it was Detroit, guys. It wasn't Florida. It wasn't Tampa. It wasn't even Boston. It was Detroit. And Detroit is not exactly an elite hockey team. They're just not. So I'll leave that there where I think of that. Now, Edmonton, on the other hand, has had all sorts of problems this year. They've been a mess this year. Their record is like, I believe it's 500. Give me a sec, guys. I want to just talk about that briefly, if you don't mind. But I was one that used to watch a lot of Oilers games, okay? I used to keep an eye on them because I was interested with McDavid. Yeah, see, they're 9-8-4 right now. But here's the key number. In 21 games, they won 4 in regulation. Edmonton, believe it or not, 63 goals for, 75 against, has been a mess. They've been a mess this year. Their record doesn't say just how bad they've been. It kind of lies to you that they have a winning record. It kind of lies. Like you look at their minus 12 goals for and against, and the Sabres are minus 9. So think about it. We're 56 goals for, 65 against. And, they've let in 75 goals. Imagine. They've let in 10 more goals than the Sabres this year. But they have played 2 more games, right? Yeah. They played 2 more games. So they're, we're just going to take the win for sure. So look, I'm just hoping, guys, that we win the games we should and then see what happens is kind of the point of this video, I guess, if I'm going to report about games. And Detroit, we should beat. We should beat Detroit. We're a better team. On paper, the Sabres are a better team than Detroit. If you go look at their roster. Break it down, look at it. Without Larkin, they're not much of a hockey team over there. They're just not. When Larkin's going, they're hard to beat. That's a hard to beat team because he's like the heartbeat of that team. Kind of like us, with Dahlin in the lineup. It helps a hell of a lot. So I think tomorrow they should go into this game continuing where they left off with Edmonton. Now, if they go into this game, guys, and they don't look good, I'm going to be a little worried. Again, it's like, if we manage to lose this in regulation, to me, that's a fireable offense again for Adams. It's just time. I still think it's time for change. As I guess where I'm at with everything still, Sabres are gonna have to win like 7 in a row to win me over. I need proof. Not. And the truth is, let's get a winning streak going for the first time all year. We haven't had a winning streak yet. This is our chance, right? Against, let's face it, the worst team in hockey. On our home ice, where we're 6-3-2. There's just no reason to lose tomorrow. There's none. But there's also no reason for them to be in the game with us right to the end. There's no reason for that. Unless we still got big problems that we just haven't seemed to resolve. We'll see tomorrow. Guys, I don't feel good. I'm gonna go lie down. I'm gonna go relax. I'll edit this, get it out to you. It might be a little late. I might nap for an hour, then edit it. I'm really, really tired again right now. And I'll see you guys in the pregame tomorrow. Have a good night.